Right now, inside your head, there is a system. It takes in information. It follows the rules of logic. It produces conclusions. That system has kept you alive, kept you functional, kept your understanding of reality intact for every single day of your life. That system is about to break. 3 times, each time worse than the last. The first time you will recover. The second time you will not be sure you can. The third time you will realize you never will. Imagine you shoot an arrow across a field. You watch it fly. Now freeze time. Pick any single instant and look at that arrow. In that frozen moment, the arrow is not moving. It cannot move to where it already is. It cannot move to where it is not because no time is passing. Zero motion. Now unfreeze. Pick another instant. Same thing. Zero motion. Pick any instant you want out of the entire flight. Every single one. Zero motion. So if every individual moment contains no movement and the flight is made of nothing but individual moments, when does the arrow ever move? This is not a thought experiment someone invented for fun. A philosopher named Zeno made this argument 2,400 years ago, and it was considered so dangerous to the foundations of logic that Aristotle himself dedicated serious effort to tearing it apart. This was a direct attack on whether movement, time, and change could be rationally understood at all. But Zeno was wrong. His argument assumed that time could be sliced into moments of zero duration, instants that last no time at all. Stack infinite zeros together and you still have zero, which would mean time does not exist. But time does exist. You are inside it right now. Time is infinitely divisible, but every division still contains duration. You never reach zero. And motion means being in different places at different times. Zeno tried to measure movement by removing the one thing movement requires. The paradox collapses. Your logic worked. You found the flaw, you pulled it out, and reality snapped back into place. That is supposed to be how every paradox goes. Find the broken piece, fix it, move on. Remember that feeling, the feeling of your logic succeeding, because you are about to lose it. One barber in a small town, one rule: he shaves every man who does not shave himself. Simple, clean, ordinary. Does the barber shave himself? If he does not, then he is a man who does not shave himself, so the rule says he must. But if he does, then he is no longer a man who does not shave himself, so the rule says he cannot. If he does not, he must. If he does, he cannot. Your instinct right now is to look for the trick, the hidden flaw, the broken premise you can pull out, the way you just did with the arrow. Spend as long as you want. You will not find one. The logic is perfect, every step follows, and the conclusion is that this barber cannot exist. No person, anywhere, under any circumstance, can satisfy that rule. A statement that sounds completely reasonable is mathematically impossible. Here is where your brain goes wrong. You are treating this like the arrow. You are scanning for the bad assumption, the fixable flaw, because that is how the last one worked. But this is not the same kind of broken. The arrow was a mistake you could correct. The barber is a proof that something intuitive is impossible. There is no flaw to find. The logic did not fail. It succeeded and delivered a result reality cannot contain. So now you are standing in a new place, a place where logic works perfectly and still produces the impossible. Your system did not malfunction. It functioned exactly right, and the answer is something that cannot be true. That should bother you, but it gets worse. Because the barber was at least contained, you can say, fine, such a barber cannot exist, and walk away with your understanding of reality bruised but intact. The next one does not let you walk away. 4 words, read them carefully. This statement is false. If it is true, then what it says must be accurate. It says it is false, so it is false. But if it is false, then its claim is wrong, which means it is true, which means it is false, which means it is true. No exit. Not because you haven't found the hidden flaw, not because the logic broke. The premises are clear, the reasoning is valid, the conclusion contradicts itself. And unlike the barber, you cannot escape by saying this cannot exist. It does exist. You just read it. It's sitting right there. The arrow was a puzzle you solved. The barber was a boundary you accepted. This is a wound that cannot close, a permanent, self-generating contradiction at the heart of logic itself. But here's the thing that should genuinely unsettle you. If this were just 4 words on a page, you could dismiss it as a language trick, something cute that philosophers argue about at dinner. Except the same crack shows up outside of language. It shows up in the actual structure of reality, and it shows up more than once. Look up. On a clear night, you see a few thousand stars. Our galaxy contains roughly 400 billion. The observable universe holds at least 2 trillion galaxies. The number of planets orbiting those stars is so large that the math doesn't just suggest life should exist elsewhere. The math demands it. The probability of Earth being alone is so vanishingly small that it rounds to 0. And yet, no signals, no evidence, no contact. 2 trillion galaxies, billions of years, and silence. That's the Fermi paradox. The premises are solid, the logic is clean. The conclusion that we should have found something by now is flatly contradicted by observation. Every proposed answer creates new contradictions of its own. So what does this actually mean? It means the same structure you saw in those 4 words is not limited to language. It appears at cosmic scale. True premises, valid logic, impossible conclusion. Now go bigger, as big as anything can go. Why does anything exist? Trace every cause back to its prior cause. You either reach a beginning, something emerged from absolute nothing, which contradicts every principle of causation, or you reach no beginning, an infinite chain stretching back forever with no first link, which contradicts every principle of explanation. Both options break logic, and one of them must be true. This question has consumed philosophers, physicists, and theologians for thousands of years. The honest answer, across every field, every era, every tradition, is that no proposed resolution has been fully satisfying, not one. This is not a question waiting for better instruments. It may be a question that the structure of human reasoning is incapable of answering. So what does this actually mean? It means the crack is not just in language, it's not just in the sky, it's in the foundation underneath everything. The reason anything is here at all is a contradiction no system of logic has ever resolved. And now, the closest one, the one you cannot step back from. Right now, as you hear these words, neurons are firing inside your skull, electrical signals are jumping between cells, chemicals are being released and absorbed, all of it physical, all of it measurable. But that's not all that's happening. You are experiencing something. There is a felt quality to this moment, a felt quality to hearing, to seeing, to being you right now inside your own awareness. You are not just processing information, you are aware that you are processing it. Something it is like to be you exists. How does physical activity in tissue produce subjective experience? How does matter feel? You could write a complete physics of the brain without ever mentioning what it is like to see the color red, and yet the experience is real. You are having one right now. The premises are true. Physical processes are real. Subjective experience is real, and the bridge between them is missing, not because we haven't found it yet, but because the gap may be built into the structure of what it means to be a physical thing that is aware of itself. 4 words on a page broke logic, an empty sky broke probability, an unanswerable origin broke causation.
and the fact that you can experience any of this broke everything else. Here's what nobody tells you about paradoxes. Every single one that has ever been resolved was resolved by sacrificing something. Zeno's arrow cost us the idea that time is made of frozen moments. The barber cost us the assumption that every reasonable-sounding rule can be satisfied. Every resolution requires you to give up something. Some piece of your understanding has to break so the rest can survive. But with the third kind, the cracks that don't close, the cost is the thing you cannot afford to pay. To resolve this statement is false, you would need to abandon the principle that every statement is either true or false. To resolve the origin question, you would need to accept something your logic is structurally incapable of accepting. To resolve consciousness, you might need